Hey family, I wanted to read something for you that just came up off of Now the End Begins, and I may or may not read through the whole thing, but because they're usually really long, but it says, as Middle East buzzes over Abraham Accord peace treaty, Emmanuel Macron swoops in, as we expected, urging a two-state solution. Let's see here. Emmanuel Macron today urged the resumption of talks toward a two-state solution with the Palestinians and Israel, which he called the only option to enable a just and lasting peace. So far, things continue to play out exactly how we told you they would. The only end times player who has not chimed in thus far is Pope Francis. But because he is so heavily invested in the Chrislam Constitution and the Abrahamic Faith House in Abu Dhabi, he may just wisely be sitting on the sidelines waiting for the right moment. But rest assured, he will be jumping into the Abraham Accord hysteria sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, in Europe, the person we say is the biblical man of sin is wasting no time getting in the game, burning up the phone lines with Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas. What was the topic of the conversation? I think you already know this. If the Abraham Accord between Israel and the UAE is the fire starter, then a peace accord between the Jews and the Palestinians is a raging inferno. And that is what Emmanuel Macron is looking to do, to set the Middle East on fire by flatteries. From France 24, taking to Twitter after a phone conversation with Mahmoud Abbas, Macron said that he told the Palestinian leader he was determined to work for peace in the Middle East. He added the resumption of talks to reach a fair solution that respects international law remains a priority. The French leader had hailed the agreement announced by U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday as a courageous decision by the UAE, saying it showed Dubai's desire to contribute to the establishment of a just and lasting peace between Israel and the Palestinians. The question of Israel's intentions regarding the occupied West Bank remained unclear after the UAE claimed that it had extracted an agreement for a halt to further annexation. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said afterwards that he had agreed only to delay, not to cancel the annexations, and that he would never give up their rights to the land. French Foreign Minister Jean, I can't even say it, said the suspension of the annexation must become a definitive measure. He also argued the resumption of talks between a two-state solution. He also urged the resumption of talks towards a two-state solution, which he called the only option to enable a just and lasting peace. The official Palestinian news agency, WAFA, said Abbas told Macron on Sunday that the UAE, like any other country for that matter, cannot speak in the name of the Palestinian people. The Palestinian Authority refuses to allow the Palestinian cause to be used as an excuse to justify normalization. It said Macron had invited Abbas to Paris to discuss the Palestinian question, with the Palestinian president agreeing to such a meeting on the condition that a date is set quickly. Key word, quickly. Under the agreement with Israel, the UAE becomes just the third Arab country to recognize the Jewish state, following Egypt in 1979 and Jordan in 1994. So there's that. This guy, Emmanuel Macron, he is stepping up, and I'm telling you what, things are getting crazier by the day. This has also been going around, but I want to read a little bit of this too, just in case you haven't heard any of this stuff. Jared Kushner makes a shock announcement that Israel has agreed to the creation of a Palestinian state by process of division of the land. So there's that. And then it says in Joel chapter 3, for behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Which they're trying to do right now. They're trying to create this two-state solution, which in essence is dividing the land and is going to bring about God's judgment, because nobody divides God's land. So I wanted to share that with you also. And just, it seems like every day just things are getting crazier and crazier. Things are just popping up and more evil is abounding. The demons are, they're causing such an uproar across the world. People are reacting to the effects of the demons, the things that they're doing, the evil that's abounding, the evil intentions that they're doing. The things that these people are doing to other people without a second thought, or even worse, that they think that they're in the right for doing such a thing. They think that they're standing up for the right cause. In the meantime, they're beating on people or hurting people or murdering people, or reacting in such a way that is nothing short of demon possession. Nothing short of it, because I've seen some things the last few days that is just, if you're in darkness, obviously, you think, that this stuff is normal. This is where we're at. Oh, they're just mad about the situation. Oh, they're trying to make excuses for the things that these people are doing. But those in the light, we see what's happening, and we see the evil abounding, and we know that the time is short and the time is at hand. And this Emmanuel Macron, I'm telling you guys, you need to watch him very closely. He seems to be keeping his hands and feet into this more and more and more. He's seeming to almost go from you didn't hear from him very much, and then all of a sudden he's there, and he kind of rose up out of nowhere. And he's there. And if you look into it, he has Jewish and Assyrian background. He's got that in him. So that's a question in itself. He's very close with the Pope, who is the false prophet. And, we are at the end of the grace period, the church age. We are at the end, and the church is about to leave. And once the church is taken out of the way, the restrainer is out of the way, then evil will not only abound, but it's going to become so bad. I don't even think anybody realizes how bad it's really going to be. Your worst nightmare. They make these movies about zombies and all that stuff, and that's just the half of it, of what it's going to be like. That's just giving you a taste of what it's going to be like. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you guys and kind of keep you guys informed on what is going on. If I have anything else that comes out, I will share that with you. And guys, if you could please lift up Brother Chad from Watchman on the Wall 88, if you could just lift him and his family up, from getting death threats that he's getting. Please ask for protection over him and his wife and over his home, and just continue to lift him up in prayer. And we know that no weapon formed against him will prosper. We know that the enemy is trying to attack, but God is bigger. We have a big God, and it's not going to work. But just continue to keep him in prayer and lift him up. So I love you guys, and until next time, may you be richly blessed.